Now this is podcasting.
I'm your host, Macsrebo.
And I am your mother,
Jennifer, a.k.a. Macsrebo's mom. Yeah, you finally said it with me.
It only takes third time's a charm.
Yeah.
So today's focus is going to be our breakdown of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Grow Dude.
The Mandalorian and Grogu. I can't say it because I want to say 4DX 3D. There's a lot of D's in there.
So
Grogu in 4DX 3D, and compare that with our IMAX 3D experiences, right?
So you pay a little extra to get the 3D experience with like the IMAX and 4D. 4DX.
I know, it's like a tongue twister.
I know.
So if you really want to feel like you're in the galaxy far, far away, which experience would you say?
I would recommend both of them, but I like to lean towards 4DX because you move, and if they get kicked, you get kicked. And it's just an experience when like someone spits or they get blasted with water, you get that.
Wow.
And there's like little holes like right about like near your head. Well, it's above my head, but they blast.
Right, in the seats themselves. So
yeah.
For those who have never experienced a 4DX, it is a motion seat. There are 4 seats that are in each section that move simultaneously. It's supposed to simulate like you're in the action scene. The first time that we've ever experienced that type of movie was
Revenge of the Sith.
Right, for the anniversary release. We felt, well, we've already seen this movie. We wanted to take it to another level. And that was the first ever 4DX movie, and it is really the best way to see what kind of film, and
like an action film. So if I really recommend watching The Mandalorian and Grogu in 4DX, because 4DX is built for an adventure or action movie, like Star Wars.
Definitely. So the action is intense. So for those who are prone to motion sickness, right? Like, so the warnings.
Or flashing lights, because they do have lights in the theater which flash at you.
Right,
and there's
on the
gunshots, and sometimes if there's smoke, they blow smoke through it.
Right, it's a real immersive experience that makes you feel like you're living in the scene. Every blaster shot, as you mentioned, so we're a bit taller than you, and right at like my ears, I feel like when the blaster was shooting, there would be a puff of air that would as if the blaster is flying by me.
And also in the seats, there's like this
something down at the feet.
Yeah,
too.
it's kind of like
I don't know, was it like a tubing or something that I think
I'm not talking about the tubing. I'm talking about like the little ground thing, because they move.
The
footrest. So it's a little bit taller than the other seats because it has to have all like the moving parts to it to move.
And you're not strapped in, which is interesting because if you go on an actual ride such as Star Tours, right? Mm-hmm. Where you have the 3D glasses, you have a seatbelt. There's no seatbelt on this.
No.
And we've learned from past experiences that your popcorn, I thought my popcorn, we did eat quite a bit during the previews to make sure that it was not going to low enough so that it's not going to fly out.
The first time we did 4DX, so Deb is getting like the drinks and popcorn. And so we were watching like all like the previews, and we were moving around, and we're like, how are we going to have popcorn? And so I'm imagining if we had a soda, the cap is going to fall off and go to the people in front of us, and then the popcorn is going to fly.
So we learned what kind of drink is your
icy
choice.
Icy or a slushy.
Right, the ices. You picked a green for Grogu.
It was the green apple. That was my first time trying it, and I really liked it.
You enjoyed it?
And the second time, we went to watch with IMAX, and I got one of those dips where it was special for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and it was like the bounty
Right.
Something like the Bounty Hunter or like...
It was, and it looked like the blue drink that they were having. Yeah,
so it was like movie. Blue raspberry, starry
and
drink with like...
popping boba?
Yeah, popping boba, which kind of tasted like cotton candy, so that was really good.
Going back to the 4DX, you're not strapped in, you feel every blaster shot. It actually like jolts your seat a bit. The battle scenes, the air effects blasting past your head.
It's really like intense.
Ship explosions. You mentioned about on the side in your peripheral, there's these flashing lights.
Yeah.
So when there's explosions, and something else that they add to it, you mentioned about smoke. There's also some kind of scent.
Yeah, some scents too.
So it does smell. That's a new word.
And you get like a little tint of a smell. Tint? Yeah, like a hint or a tint of a smell. There's going to be a lot of bloopers in this one.
We're doing wonderful with our English today.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But yeah, so if there's like some food, you can kind of smell some like
they do put, right, it's as we said, you're trying to touch upon your senses, not just your sense of sight, but the feeling of the mentioned mist. There is
so
in front of us we sit in like the first
front.
level level up, and there's a bar in front of our seats. They have little holes, and that's where the water splashes
in your seat.
I'm not sure if I noticed if there was like mister like on the side too.
I think so. Yeah, sometimes
in the upper level. So that I do remember when if there's a fight scene and as if like the sweat or something, it like goes and it splatters in your face.
But in each seat, there's a button that says water on or water off.
Oh,
so if you don't like water splashing into your face, you can hit the button to change it.
I didn't realize that. So you can
because
adjust.
There's like 2 holes for each seat that is right in front of each seat. So you can like turn it off or on if you want. There's no like I just want a little mist, so I want it like to be heavy. It's just on or off.
So you talked about feeling as if you're in the middle of the action.
Yeah.
Besides the smoke, those scents, the water mist, they have guess like as if you were like having a massage chair.
Yeah.
Some kind of motorized.
They have like little like circles. If like let's say Mando or a character falls on the floor, you can get like a little punch.
And
or like somebody gets kicked.
And it's not going to hurt you. It just alarms you that you feel that connection right to the movie.
Like E.T. Like how they're both
symbiotic.
Connected. Like if he drinks a soda, he burps. Like if Mando gets punched,
it's funny when we do our breakdown of the movie. I want to talk about that. I had a moment where I felt like there was an E.T. moment.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite scenes, so you said we had seen the movie first in 4DX 3D. The 3D glasses, they're lightweight.
They're like thin and they're lightweight, and they
I need my the bag that's in the study. I have the props. We do need props for this because there was a difference in the style of glasses.
Oh, definitely. For the 4DX, they're like these thin, like a sunglass that you usually wear, or just like regular glasses that you normally wear almost every single day. That's like that.
And I still thought the scene very crisp. The 3D effects weren't cheesy.
And they weren't that big.
No.
It just made you feel like they were a little closer to you.
Yeah. Like I remember when the rifle would come out, it looks as if it's coming more towards you, but not like when you go to one of those like the 3D type of ride where it's like really popping out and it's overly done.
Like the Muppet Show.
Right. It's this right. That's right. It's very subtle.
Yeah.
So it's still just, it looks like you're there again to bring you into the scene. So the 4DX, the seats are moving with every hit. You feel like you're part of the fight rather than just watching it. One of my favorite sequences, is if you're This is what Mackenzie was talking about.
The 4DX
glasses
look
for
like
3D.
I think this is also like the
What does it say on the side? Does it say real 3D or?
Yeah, it says real D.
Real D.
And then
And you said it was just similar to
like a normal,
like as if you were wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Very lightweight, so it didn't bother me throughout. In fact, at time I forgot I was even wearing them.
Yeah, same.
But the action about, the difference there, again, this is to make things have that 3-dimension look to bring you into the scene. But what really does it for me with the 4DX is the action for the ATRT. I know that you've seen those in the trailers. I mean, we were jostling around.
Yeah.
I felt like what you were riding along with Mando and Grogu.
Anything that moves or vibrates, you move and vibrate with it.
Yeah.
You're like in sync.
With
it. Like E.T.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
The X-Wings soaring across the screen. I mean, it brings it just to a whole nother level. I mean, I save and savor the experience, I think, like you said, for action-packed movies and Star Wars. This movie itself was just full of action.
Definitely.
I felt like a roller coaster through space is really what you would definitely sum it up for.
And also, they do have that in the preview before, like, you watch the movie. There's like this roller coaster, and it's like in this spacey type of area.
Yes.
And you're just like moving with it.
And that's good. Like, I like how you bring that up. It was sort of getting you prepared for what to experience.
Yeah.
Because as we said, if you are prone to motion sickness, if you are impacted by a lot of flashing lights, then this wouldn't be the type of theatrical experience for you.
Yeah.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart. If you're going along, you really feel. But at the same time, I mean, you and I, we enjoy rides. So I didn't walk away feeling like, oh, I was still on the ride.
If you like roller coasters, 4DX is just like a roller coaster.
I mean, you're not going upside down or flipping around, but
you're still moving a lot.
It's like, oh, I love that scene too. Like when you feel like you're hanging over an edge, like you just feel that experience in your body as if I forgot that I was in a theater.
Yeah.
I really just felt like I was part of that whole movie experience, and
usually
one of my favorite ways.
And usually sometimes when you're watching a movie, some parts it's like you're not moving around. So it's like a nice slower time to like take a sip, move over, drink your drink, eat some popcorn. Because when you're moving, you don't like.
You're not going to be like, let me have some popcorn now while you're in the middle of a fight scene or we're going through the X-Wing sequences.
You're like this.
The good thing would be nobody in front of us, so we'd be flying popcorn. That could add to the 4DX experience, the flying popcorn, but we didn't add to that. So that was our first night ever seeing the movie from start to finish. I know that you had seen the preview. You had seen the preview in just IMAX, in the same theater that we were seeing IMAX 3D. So when you're seeing it in IMAX, it's this larger screen.
It takes up like almost
like a taller, right?
Side.
Like,
it's taller, it's wider.
The thing that we realized, and it was unfortunately once the movie concluded, that Dad went back a few other rows, and he said he wished that we sat a few rows back.
I think because we sat in.
Like we said that first level that's elevated. What did you feel like? You were like,
I had to look up
a lot more.
So we looked in F, like because like there's like F, E, and like numbering of rows, and then there's like E1 or F2.
Right. So you think if you're going to see it in IMAX because of the length of that screen, I would recommend sitting a little bit more centralized there so you don't have to strain your neck to look up. Now, these are the glasses because IMAX has to have, this is IMAX with laser. There's a different type of lens. And they don't work for one another. These are specially designed for the IMAX experience. So there's different types of technology that's used, and they require it looks like souped up
and there's
power lens.
Thicker on the sides than the 40X one.
Yeah, and even the thickness here. I'm wondering if the lens
are bigger.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an adjustment when I was putting on the IMAX 3D glasses. I said when we saw the 4DX 3D, I forgot that I was even wearing them. They were very lightweight. When I put these on for the first time, I was like, whoa, is this going to bother me?
Because you definitely feel
and it just seems like it's covering more of my face there. But after a while, like I said, once the movie gets started, then you become one in that experience. I don't know if it was just our eyes. I know that Dad had thought the imaging wasn't as crisp, I think, in the 3D of the IMAX, but
they were for me, but those were always falling off.
They were bigger. They're much larger size.
Yeah, and they were always on the edge of my nose.
So you had to keep adjusting.
I had to keep pushing them. And usually, I think when I'm seeing some of the scenes, it's always on the edge of my nose, so they don't really look blurry if they're that close to your eyes.
So I think though that's something to consider if you're going with young children to look at the size of these glasses. They don't have different. I don't believe.
Different sizes.
I know that one time when we went, they gave a children's
for
size.
the 40X 3D, they do have children's size glasses. So if you have a smaller kid,
I remember one time I think they gave one of those and I couldn't fit it on.
Me, and then they gave it to you.
Right.
And so you were wearing it.
And I'm like, I don't. But this.
For the 40X 3D, they do have smaller glasses, but I don't believe for the IMAX.
So that does work better for, again, depending on if you're going with younger children. That's something to consider because, again, not all size glasses are created equal. And if they're going to slip, it does make it a little bit more of an annoyance as you're watching the movie.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, too, something that stood out to me. I feel like the surround sound in an IMAX theater.
It's deeper.
It's so booming that I was more in tune with that as we were watching it in IMAX. I could, even though we didn't have the rumbling seats, I could feel the rumble of the bass at certain times in the IMAX theater.
Yeah, same. It kind of vibrates the whole theater. At some loud parts, like a gunshot or
it definitely,
them yelling. You can hear them.
And again, I guess for that experience, it definitely lends itself to bring you further in with an IMAX, with the IMAX technology there.
One thing that I noticed when we were in the 4DX, when you had the water, it did sometimes get on the glasses.
Yes.
Then it dried up. I saw that it dried up quite quickly. I didn't have to wipe them off.
Well, since I was a little smaller, it didn't really show up on my glasses. The water just sprayed here or here. Never usually on the glasses.
So, yeah, that really, that's funny that you mentioned that because it never was something that I guess I noticed on my glasses.
Because we were always focused on the show.
Yeah. For the IMAX, I know, so talking about, it's taller, it's wider than the standard theater, so it makes your field of vision, as we said, though I was more so looking up at the grander scale.
It always depends on your skating to get the perfect
So that's supposed to make you feel like you're inside of the scene. The laser, I know that they use different kinds of, and this says IMAX with lasers. So the different type of technology that's used, there's the different dual laser projection setups that the way it's projected, there's supposed to be a brightness and a clarity more so than if you're seeing it. There's other theaters that don't have the advanced technology. And even when we spoke about the 3D experience again with the IMAX, it's not that cheesy, like we said, if you're going to an amusement park where things are popping out at you and it makes you like it's so
it's just
overly done.
Yeah, like it's like right there in front of you. It's just like a little.
It's just supposed to bring you, I think, into scale, into the scene.
Yeah.
A bit. So again, with the IMAX 3D having, if something was pointing out at you, it wasn't like coming out and be like, "Oh, it's gonna come and touch me." It just, you can see that.
Yeah, like
that
here's
you're there.
The screen, and it just like moves a little ow, not like ow.
But yeah, and they do say that it's a precision tuned surround sound with the deep bass and a clear directional audio. Like it's really the surround sound combined with the 3D makes you feel physically immersed within the scene. So again, those are two different formats of seeing the movie.
Yeah.
You also have the option of seeing it in 4DX or IMAX without the 3D.
Yes. So you pay just a little bit for the extra experience.
Right. And like you said, when it takes 7 years for a new Star Wars movie to come out in theaters, we wanted to really up the ante.
Yeah.
And make sure that we were getting the most of our experience.
We also tried doing it in the ScreenX.
That's right.
And that is fantastic.
Another.
I really like that one.
So that was something that I never even really knew existed. I guess, whenever Dad and I were going to movies, it was just, okay, a standard. You're going to the movie theater, you're there to see the movie, and you have the one screen, and that's it, right? That's all, folks. Now we have so many different options, and we saw that there was another option at the theater. We were attending Regal Deer Park, and the reason why we've picked that particular theater is because it had so many different options available.
A lot.
As we said, the 4DX 3D, IMAX 3D, and then this ScreenX came about, and we did a little bit of investigation there, little research, and the ScreenX
on the sides is also a screen, so you really feel like you're surrounded by, but only in action scenes.
Right.
So some scenes are just the front, and then for actions, they're on the sides.
So it's more of a panoramic type of format, and it expands, as you mentioned, certain scenes beyond the main screen.
Yeah.
This, again, was another experience that you can have with 3D glasses. It was with the traditional Real D.
It's better with the Real D glasses.
Well, that's what it's made for. This is what it's made for. So when you're going through, it's not like you could say, "Oh, I have my other glasses. Let me just, see with another type." As we said, these are specific to IMAX. It has the IMAX logo. This is the only way that you can see that film for its true,
because it's made for the big screen, like the really
it's
large
a different
screen.
type of technology.
Yeah.
So with the Real D, the ScreenX, again, it's for your peripheral. Now, for myself, to me, I just felt like it was more of a detractor from the main screen. Yes, it was pretty neat that you could see,
like stormtroopers coming by,
like it would be
AT-ATs walking past you,
and it did extend beyond up to the upper levels. So in an auditorium of the theater, the whole wall on the side, it would project some kind of image, and if it was with that 3D, though, that I don't think was really popping out. I'm trying to think. It just is, again, something that you're not really supposed to stop and look at the sides here, but we were, just so we could get a sense of how does this really work. I am amazed by that technology.
Because if you can see them in the corner of your eye. That's what it was supposed to be. You can see them in the corner of your eye walking past you, and you're there.
Again, this was at a Regal Cinema, so ScreenX, and some other theaters, they call them a different type of experience. So like I said, 4DX, that is the term that's used at Regal theaters, the ScreenX. Yeah. So now only selected scenes. So the full wraparound effect is usually for a flight scene, battles, car chases, the landscapes, space sequences. So again, it really fits for a Star Wars sci-fi action film. So again, it's like if you're going to see this movie, there's the traditional standard movie experience. Yes, you have a surround sound, you have a large screen. IMAX is a giant screen, the premium sound. 3D is that depth perception.
Yeah.
To give you that extra, as if you can reach out and touch it. 4DX is that motion and physical effect. And then ScreenX is for that peripheral panoramic immersion.
Yeah. It's
So,
like surrounding you.
and again, it's great for that sci-fi type of action. Hyperspace make you feel travel wider. It just makes it feel massive, a landscape, like you're on the volume of the set.
Yeah.
Right. The big pros. It's definitely for an action film. Now, I do think, though, as I mentioned, I don't think the side screens were as crisp.
They weren't.
Right?
It was just a little blurry. I think it was supposed to be you could see them in the corner of your eye passing you, and your focus is on the main screen, and that is just like an extra part that you can see. It's just like a little add-on that you can see people walking past you.
So if you're going to sit in that kind of style theater, I would recommend sitting in the middle center. Slightly farther back than usual. So again, like we typically try to get that one elevated level up. And I would again recommend, just like for IMAX, sitting a little bit further back than usual. Avoid the left or right, because again, you're going to be right up against a wall that's going to have that extra peripheral seating. They say, though, for best picture quality, they say that an IMAX for picture and really sound quality, that an IMAX, but
I'm not really a big fan of the IMAX 3D because every time when I wore that, it was big, but also it kind of had like that reflection of like a color on this side and another color.
So yeah, you notice something like, all right. So if you were to do this again, you would just want traditional IMAX.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I feel like one time
so you
don't 3D
so you
IMAX.
you don't think that the extra, for you in particular, and especially because of the size of the glasses lens, it wasn't something that it was more cumbersome and
I feel like you don't need to pay more for that. Like it's nice once in a while if you had like a really action packed movie, because then it'll like come out at you, but like not for slow or like a beautiful romance movie.
No, definitely. I don't think you need to spend the extra for a 3D. But our verdict, right, to make you feel like you're in the galaxy far, far away, your money would go on to a what experience? Out of those three choices, 4DX, and again, you can either take it or leave it for 3D. You have the 4DX, the IMAX, or ScreenX. Which your top?
4DX, and this is my for 3D. It's 4DX, then the ScreenX, and then IMAX. Because
really,
I like being surrounded by them, and I like feeling that you're in it. But just like IMAX, with the 3D glass, it's a little too big for me, and you have to look up if you're doing a lower seat. If you like pick a lower seat, you always have to look up the whole entire movie. So it's really, I don't really want to pay that much for 3D.
So
it's like once you kind of learn your lesson to go higher and probably to get like a smaller size glasses, even though they don't have it. It's like hard.
Okay. So Mackenzie's money is on the 4DX. You don't have to upgrade for the 4DX 3D.
No, you already feel immersed.
You already feel immersed in that experience. And then she even really liked that the galaxy felt even bigger surrounded with the ScreenX. My take, I definitely recommend the 4DX experience for a Star Wars type film, action packed. I want to feel as if I'm part of the action, and that's the best way to describe the 4DX experience. I would then go IMAX. I, again, learned my lesson. I would want to be a little bit higher within the theater so I don't have to strain my neck. For the ScreenX, even though that was Mackenzie's second choice, I would defer to that. I don't particularly care. I feel it's more of a distractor for me to have the peripheral images. So that wasn't something that I felt like I needed to have in order to be within. I really, the thing that IMAX also does for me is that's booming sound system.
Yeah, I like that too.
So again, top two choices, the 4DX, 3D was really top billing, and then the IMAX.
And also, if it's regular without 3D, I would still do 4DX first, then IMAX. Because IMAX, you feel like you're immersive with the booming sounds. And
so now I think it's taller. The ScreenX just goes around the side, but that IMAX has that. And there's different technology in order for them to shoot that way.
Yeah.
And you'll see different films, they'll say filmed for IMAX. So there's a different type of camera system and different technology to display it. So again, it's very fascinating to get involved with all of that, but to know that there's so many different formats, and we want to know which way you chose. And if you saw the movie more than once, if you have an experience like ourselves here, to say which way you prefer to experience the movie Star Wars back in theaters, an exciting time.
Yeah, if you have any stories that you'd like to talk about, like how did you see the Mandalorian and Grogu, or what did you see in the like if you see any of the other Star Wars movies in the movie theater, or if you're excited to see the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
A quick fun fact that on May 25th, that was the introduction of A New Hope in the theaters back in 1977. And to think that on the Memorial Day, May 25th, that you could see Mandalorian and Grogu. So to think of the different generations going to see the film and think of how far they've come. Like I know Nana and Grandpa had seen the original films and they didn't have all these choices. It was, you were just going to the theater, you had one style ticket. So now to think of all these different ways, it's just amazing to know how technology advanced.
Yeah.
So again, Star Wars fans, action lovers, go check out Mandalorian and Grogu.
And also go to Regal to check out IMAX, 4DX, ScreenX, and more. This is Macsrebo signing off from Galaxy Far, Far Away.